have to schedule a client really quick because I'm so important. I'm so sorry. I have to move them.
Krusty Krab pizza.
Krusty Krab, yeah,
I don't want that other
yeah.
Dutch braid, backcomb, keratin, herringbone, scrunch, dry, faux hog, quiff, quaff, don't go bald. Here's the deal.
That's not good.
It sounded very much adequate.
It did.
That is the worst thing anybody could say. No, but like that is the worst though. When somebody says like, that was fine. Fine? Or like even when people were like, yeah, fine.
Yeah, no, I don't like that.
Was I with you when we talked about like when people say that she looks unique? Like that?
That's mean.
That is mean.
That's like worse than when you're trying to set your friend up with someone and they're like, oh, but is he cute? And you're like, he's nice.
That's like me when I try to hook you up with that
I
one
will
person.
never
God, it was so
forget
horrible.
that.
Did
I
you
was
try to
so
hook her up with
offended.
somebody?
I tried to hook her up with somebody who was a Christian man. That was all I cared about. And he wasn't ugly, but he now that I know you, I should have never hooked you up with that person because that's not your type, and I never would. I didn't know you that well then. I'm sorry.
Why would you try to hook her up with somebody when you didn't know her that well?
Because people always try to do that. People always try to
I'll
hook me
never
up with
do that
people.
to you.
Okay, thanks. Makes me feel like shit. I didn't do it in a mean way. I genuinely thought that you would like him.
I know you didn't. I know you didn't.
We had just gotten done with talking about you wanted to be with a Christian guy, and I found one, and I was excited, but it was not the right choice. Horrible choice.
I'm
I
also
will never do
just
it again.
very judgy. So what are you gonna do?
You know, she knows good taste. What's wrong with that?
I know what I like.
She knows what she likes, and she likes
what I
she
deserve.
likes.
That's why I'm single. They don't exist in real life.
I mean,
they do.
They're somewhere.
They're at Kroger. Because you go to Publix too much.
I actually don't go to Publix because it's too expensive.
She just got a membership,
and you don't go to Publix.
I actually didn't. I just got a flyer for it.
Wait, no, use my number.
No.
I'm gonna use my number.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get my own points.
Okay. That was not nice.
I wouldn't want.
What was it?
Give you mine. I was gonna give you my coupons.
Because you're gonna reap the benefits.
Oh, you were gonna give me the coupons?
I said use my number, and I said I'll give you the coupons.
You don't want the coupons?
I forget to use them. But if you want them,
I'll forget to use them too, honestly.
Okay,
then everybody just use my
and
number.
then everybody's being
Who is mad?
reason.
Who is mad?
I am.
Okay, exactly. So stand in your little corner over there, drink your wine,
break.
mouse rat.
Mom and Dad are fighting again. Oh, God.
Mama y papa.
Hey, what's this?
Can we get back on the vibes where it's me and you against Brittany? Because that was fun times. That was
I'm into that.
such a good
I'm
thing.
into it.
I am too.
I don't know what happened to that.
I don't know. We got confident
Hey,
quick.
you're dumb.
Hey, you got pigtails that look like little buttholes.
This is why one day when the podcast takes off and becomes successful, I'm booting y'all out of it.
That
and
is
taking
fine.
everything.
Everybody will
It's
stop
like
watching.
10 times harder replacement.
We are the hardest soul.
Okay, let's be honest. We're the
No,
hardest soul.
y'all really are. I would be so screwed.
What was I gonna say?
Just Brittany
when she
talking.
came over, I literally answered the door. I said, "I'm your PP coupon, and I think you're gonna be Sprite Can."
I'm your me moo moo mama, and I think you're gonna be homophobic.
Memory, all alone in the moonlight. La, 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 la.
So what's your least favorite thing about Victoria? Okay. So do we want to start with consultations, or do we want to start with? Let's just start with how long did it take you to get a steady book, or like a full book, like a consistent full book?
Me first.
Whoever wants to answer.
I don't really know, actually.
I was just thinking, how do you think that?
Well, I started September.
That was the most country way to speak Spanish I've ever heard in my life.
I told you every time I try to do an accent, it turns like southern.
And I get them boxes.
So I started in September of 2018, and I think, and yeah, I don't know. It was like holiday time. It was the holidays, Christmas and whatnot. And so like we were already busy, And so I like got booked up from that and like kept those clients for the most part. I mean, like January was slow. So maybe like a year to get like my full clientele, but like starting at that point in time was definitely
Ideal.
yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's fast.
Yeah.
What do you
Sorry, I ADHD moment. I was literally just thinking about sometimes I do things and I hope while you're watching it you see it. And I
always do.
I do it just for you.
What did you do?
I was just staring at my fist with the mic, and then I started laughing, and I was like, I can't wait for her to watch that.
I do every time. I was telling Victoria today, every time I watch when I'm editing, I notice things that I had no idea happened while we were recording. Like, even stuff that y'all will say that I just didn't hear because my big mouth was talking. Like, it's so funny.
I love it. It's like my favorite thing. I get so excited. I'm like, oh, I hope she saw it and laughed.
I always do.
Because like I know editing can be hard, and I feel so bad. That's why I always ask you, do you want help? So yeah.
No, I love editing.
So like good. But I'm just saying, like sometimes I do that to make it like lighter. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry.
I appreciate it.
I feel like my book isn't. I think maybe I'm just like really hard on myself, but I don't feel like my book is at the like where I need it to be. But when it got to a point of where I felt like, ooh, I'm doing good. Not to be like, I feel like we got promoted really fast, but I feel like whenever I got promoted, because we got promoted really fast, because both of you and I got promoted at the same time. So what? That was like 3 months after we started. Was it 3 or 4 months? 6 months?
I don't remember. It had to have been 6 months because that's a rule.
Yeah. Okay. 6 months after, probably. Yeah, because I remember when. I don't really remember the question. What's the question? Like, sorry, I feel like I'm not asking. Like,
I was just gonna let you talk in circles till you stopped.
Oh
the question is, when do you feel like your book you finally got a consistent full book?
A consistent full book?
Yeah.
How long have we been doing hair? I don't know. This is a tough question. I feel like I need to answer it fast.
No pressure. Editing does happen, so no pressure.
When did you say?
Like a year. But like it was different for me because
but we started in December, so we also started.
Yeah,
but I feel like it took a lot.
But I was a level 2 by the time I was full time.
And let's not forget about 2020.
And so,
oh my god.
So I would say for us to be consistent, I would say like this time last year.
Yeah, I would say 2 years.
I felt like really, really good.
Consistent.
Like, because Christmas was chaotic, and I was like, I made such.
But then also,
money.
I feel like January looped around, and I wasn't worried about making money because I
so
still
busy.
had consistency. Like that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Like I still had consistency in the slow months where normally I would be sitting on my butt, not doing it.
Yeah.
Like last January, it was pretty busy, but this January
was like,
I was very busy, and that's how I knew.
Yes.
Like that's how you know when you're actually doing a really good job is during those slow months. Like, yeah, they have buffer moments, but those days are pretty consistent. They all even each other out.
Yes.
So I would say like 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because me and Shelby, we started on the floor December of 2020 or 2019. So we had a good.
I'm getting bitchy. I'm sorry. I'm hitting my nails.
We had a good 3 to 4 months of normal workspace, and then COVID hit. And then we were out of work. How long were we out of the salon for? Like a month? 2 months?
It was 6 weeks.
Yeah, so almost 2 months.
I was going to say it was almost 2 months.
So, and then basically me and Shelby started in COVID.
Yeah.
So it did take us a little longer. But you know what? That just shows we can do anything. Because that was rough. But COVID in the hair industry was not as difficult because everyone needs a haircut.
I will say though, my entire base clientele rearranged from COVID. I have a few, like a handful, but I have an entirely new base clientele after COVID.
Yeah.
So
things
we didn't have a clientele, so that was nice. That nothing changed for us because we had just started.
Yeah.
I mean, I have clients that I got when I was in Christmas, December, still, but a lot of my clients that I built were, COVID happened and I wanted to try a new salon.
Yeah.
And then it worked out and we vibed really well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can't stop talking.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Very true.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
So I'd say like 2 years. But if you're taking that aside and a normal person who's like working really hard and is trying to make money, I would say like if you're doing good and you're making sure you're working a lot, I would say yeah, a year is a good amount of time.
Yeah.
Which
it was pretty good.
I've heard like a span of like from like 3 to 5 years too though. Because we also have to remember we're in a very favored position with the company that we work for.
Yes.
So I know for a lot of other stylists, it's a lot more difficult to build because they don't have necessarily the resources that we have within the company that we work for, because we are all very lucky with the company that we work for. We are very well taken care of. We are very well known around the area that we work in.
They do all of our marketing.
Yeah, they do all of our marketing. So like we don't have to work quite as hard at that. So I've heard a lot of time like average is like 3 to 5 years usually for a new stylist to get accustomed and to get consistent, which makes sense.
That does make sense.
Oh yeah. Because you have to think, if you're consistent on promotion, because I think of numbers wise, if you're consistent on promotion and say if you get a promotion every single year, if that's your goal, that means that you've had to go through a significant pay increase. So you've shedded those clients who, as much as they like you, you're just cheaper, and that's what they benefit from versus whenever you get, when you become like how we all are level 5, that means like that we make medium amount of price, you're worth it more, so you've gone through that shedding point. So yeah, that would make sense because we're at the, I've noticed that I've had some clients who are like, I just can't afford you anymore. Like, I'm so sorry. And I totally get it. Or like, I'll try to make it work and we'll do something else. But I'm getting to that point where I have a couple clients, which makes me so sad. But
I do have a few
I wouldn't pay for me either. So.
No, I had
a rule. I only saw 3 or 4.
No, literally.
I would not go higher.
If I were not a hairstylist, I would not pay my prices. But that's also because I'm cheap and I don't care. Like, I don't truly, comparatively to everyone at our salon, I probably get my hair done like the least.
Yeah.
I don't get my hair done.
If I didn't have a red, I would probably be like you. I would never get my hair done.
I don't get my hair done.
And if I do, I do it myself because I hate asking people.
See, I don't do it myself because I don't trust myself in the back of my head.
That mood. I do mine like once every 4 months.
You can't really mess up roots.
Yeah, I find a way.
If I take my gloves, if I rub it in enough.
And that is what you do. I've seen
that what I do
before.
We'll put a video on there and show how I do it.
Yeah.
It's great.
So when you first started behind the chair, do you feel like having consultations was difficult?
I was like stuttering. Like I could not speak correctly. I was like, what you want to do?
what you want?
Tell me. But yeah, and then I start learning like the keywords to ask, and that definitely helps.
Well, I kind of feel like, again, it's one of those things where like I just that was one of the things, sorry, like circling, trying to get into it, saying it in a nice way.
You sound like me when I first started consultations.
Literally, that's the example. That's what I was doing. That's what it was. No, whenever my mom would pick me up and I would go to the salon, I would hear her have consultations and I would hear the things and the do's and the don'ts, and I heard it, and I never really necessarily took it in because I didn't know I was going to do hair, but I would hear them and I would know the way to talk to somebody, to have them listen, to sound confident. So, and then I also feel like we just benefited from being in a world and starting out in our industry where there's pictures. And so I had one person tell me, always ask for a picture and then zoom into the color, and I ran with it. And then from there, I learned. So yeah, when it got to like after the pictures, I would be like, what? I
just noticed that you say picture, like picture.
I say words really wrong. I had a speech impediment.
I mean, it's not a bad thing. I'm just saying, I just realized that just now. Like,
that.
I'm just pointing it out that of all the years that I've known
Brittanie
you.
is a bully.
Anyway, I'm just gonna answer my own question.
If there's not a video of you, if you don't put that in there where you bully me and you zoom in and you put in "Hello, darkness, my friend," I'm not going to do this podcast ever again. I will not do this podcast.
I was gonna compare this to something super annoying, but I'm not going to.
What?
No, nothing.
Go ahead.
What?
Nothing. You don't get to know. Anyway,
Why is she being so mean to me when
I
she
wanna
made fun
know.
of me?
I wasn't making fun
That's
of you.
what bullies do. She is gaslight girl bossing right now.
That's my biggest strength.
She
Absolutely.
GGB, gaslight girl boss.
GGBB.
How did you feel about consultations when you first started?
Wait, what's
Thank you
the
for
weird
asking.
thing?
You're not hearing it.
Wow.
If I don't get to hear it, you don't get to hear it.
You know what? I have to go.
How did you feel about
I
gaslighting?
hated consultations.
Mm.
Like, I was scared. I was that, like, I really struggled. What?
How? But like, how do you get to the hair? I'm interested to hear your answer. I'm genuinely asking, like, how do you hate consultations? Like, you just like, okay, you want to be blonde? All right, bye.
Well, no, I
You
really
go on,
struggled in knowing the right things to ask.
Oh, okay.
I really struggled in, like, not just sitting down my client being like, what do you want to do? And then them telling me and me just being like, okay, let's do that. Like, I didn't know the questions to ask. I didn't know how to have a thorough consultation. And that was scary.
Yeah.
Okay.
I also, like,
Brittany.
What?
I said, okay, young Brittany. Let's talk about the things that we should have asked.
Yeah. So what is one key thing, like, when your client sits down, like, what is one of the first things you ask them in a consultation?
I say, how's your hair feeling?
Ah,
Yeah. And then they start going like this, and then I watch where their hands go.
Watch
and
where
I'm
the
like,
hands go.
that's
I
smart.
feel thin.
Yeah, Cody told
Body
me about that
language
one.
is a huge thing.
Mm-hmm.
You could always tell what they're self-conscious about.
Their body will tell you
They're
what
going
they need to fix.
like this. I want it to be longer. That makes sense, right?
Mhm.
They're going like this or annoyed with their bangs like me. Like, make sure they're in the middle. Make sure they're in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah. For sure. Body language.
Mhm.
And how they walk in. That was like a big, my mom told me that one. How they walk into the chair tells you a lot. If they get in there and they abruptly get in their chair, they're like in need of this, then you can tell what they're going for. If they're in the chair and they're like relaxing and they're sitting, this is something that they're really like excited about. Like, you can really know how they feel as they get in the
Like,
chair,
just
which is a
going
little
into
too
it.
deep. As a starter, I wouldn't focus on that, but like as you go on, you can catch it like a client's vibe.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so knowing their body language.
Yeah.
If they like show a picture, I zoom in.
Mm-hmm. You need
And
to
I'm like,
pick apart
which
that
of
picture.
these colors
Yep.
do you like? Is it both?
Yeah.
And then I zoom out and I zoom in on the root, and I'm like, do you like the way that this looks?
Do you like how dark this root is?
Yeah.
A lot of times pictures
Do you
look
like
dark.
the way that the blonde goes up, or do you want it to go higher? Do you want more blonde in between?
What's your favorite thing about this picture?
Yes.
Like, what's the thing that just
My
pops
favorite
out
question.
To you?
That's a great one.
Yeah, and 9 times
Great
out of
one.
10, it's how bright they are around their face.
Yeah.
Because they feel like they're too
People
Yep.
love that.
dark. Yeah. Favorite thing about the picture. What is the one thing you don't like about your hair? Because like if they come in and they just don't like anything, they're like, what is the one thing?
Like,
and
if you could
walked
change
out the
one
door,
thing.
what would you change? Yeah. And 9 times out of 10, it's like, oh, I just need more layers, or like I feel like it's flat. Like a lot of the time, it's just they need more body.
Yeah.
I think everybody needs body.
Yeah.
Everybody needs layers. Well, if you have 2 hairs, then probably not a layer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not even one layer.
Or even extensions.
Yeah.
Everybody needs
One thing,
extensions.
everybody needs extensions. One thing that I hate hearing is like the order taking. Like,
what do you want?
okay, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Like, when you ask your client to tell you what they want,
That's
but
like going to the doctor, and the doctor's like, so what do you want me to do?
yes,
Like-
exactly. Like,
Oh.
instead of like sitting down and being like, okay, so what are we doing? Like, what do we want to do? I like what you said. Like, how's your hair feeling?
Mm-hmm.
I like to ask, like, what direction are you wanting? Like, or what's our end goal today?
Yeah.
You know, instead of being like, and I never ever say like, okay, I have you down for a partial, you know, because dependent on consultation, I might ask you a few questions and realize you actually really need a full.
Yeah.
Because you're feeling so dark, but the darkness underneath is what's getting you, you know? So I never mention necessarily what I have them down for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'll be like, so
Because sometimes clients don't even know what a partial is.
yeah. The only time I will is
don't.
if it's like a root touch up, and I'll be like, we're gonna cover those sparkles.
Yeah.
But other than that, I'm not like, so you're gonna get a partial foil with low light and glaze. Like, no.
Yeah, exactly.
But you will do that starting out. There's nothing wrong. It's
Yeah,
just
there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
It gets comfortable.
The time to read off the list is when you go over pricing and you're explaining to them what the prices are and what they are in the system.
Yes.
Because then that makes sense to them. But when we're talking about their hair and like consultation, we want to go over the look. Like what look we're going for.
How often do y'all price quote your clients?
If we're doing something more than what they normally do, or like say if they typically come in and they get their roots done, and we talk about all they think their hopes and dreams of their hair and how they're feeling about it, I always go, so do we want to price it out today or just we want to go with the flow? Like I always just I say it like that. 9 times out of 10, they don't want it priced out, but there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. I do. I'd be like, you better tell me every
I gotta be prepared
and what comes with this service because I want to know that I'm getting a deal.
So I remember when I was like 16, I got my hair done for my birthday, and I was literally shaking the entire 2.5-hour appointment because she never told me how much it was gonna cost, and I had my mom's debit card, and I was like, did I ask for the right thing? Like, am I gonna get in trouble? And then at the end, she was like, "That's gonna be $160," and I was like, you know what I mean? And like, it probably was not a big deal, but I was nervous instead of just relaxing the entire 2 hours. So, pricing out is pretty good. I should do it more often.
Fair,
but
it gives me anxiety that like if I walk up to the front and I charge them what what I need to charge them, and then they think it's too much. Like if it's a consistent client, they're paying the same thing every time. Yeah. And if we end up doing like a glaze, I'll just make sure they know like, oh, it's this much more. Like I just want to make you aware. You know, I never ask like, is that okay? Because they'll let you know if it's not.
Yeah.
But true. I always just say I want to make you aware. Blah 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 blah. But usually with new clients or if we're doing a big change, I will be. I'll just go ahead and give them the quote.
100%
I messed myself up so bad. I just literally am like calling myself out in my head. Because I think now I'm like, if I would price out more to some clients, I think I would be less likely to take things off like I do at the end.
You don't need to do that.
I take off all the time, and I hate the worst thing in the world is when they're like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize it was going to be that cheap. And I get so mad because I'm like, it's really not supposed to be that cheap. But I took off the glaze because you told me your dog died last week and I feel bad and I just was like, oh, it'd be nice to give him something. And I'm
You're giving them
Jesus will be happy that
their hair.
I know. I just like, I think I need to do that more.
Well, you do. Let this be a lesson as well.
I'm
to
learning.
All the new stylists and Shelby.
Don't do that.
Don't hand out discounts because especially in the beginning, if you're handing out discounts to people, they will constantly expect
discounting yourself.
Yeah, and they will constantly expect that.
Yeah,
and you're not going to be making enough money off of that.
Yeah, I did do that in hair school.
Yeah,
and then the second that I was like, I gotta pay my bills with this.
Yeah,
I don't overprice.
No, I used to,
but I charge what I do.
But I don't do it to a point where it's like, oh my gosh, it's gonna break the bank because I wouldn't do that. But it's more like if I really did a partial, but I charged them a foil frame. But then I'm like, well, I also did I did the color and like maybe that'll even out. But really, I should have charged you the partial, but I charged the foil frame, and I do that all the time. And I think also because I'm faster now, so I'm like, it should be cheaper. It's just like a bad mindset. No. Just don't be like that. Don't cut yourself short. But also the fact that I am faster should be more the reason why I should charge.
And also just especially in the beginning, if you start doing it, you will
don't do it in the beginning.
Yeah.
We're gonna have an intervention after this.
You're like, you're just like getting more pricier, and so you would take off more because of that. Then sure. Don't do that. But that's more so. I didn't do it when I was earlier on. Now I'm doing it because I just don't want to lose. There's some clients there. Let's talk about my problems. There's some clients out there that I just don't want to lose.
No, I understand that.
And I know that budgeting is really hard for them, and I know money is tight, and they're not somebody who takes advantage of me.
With clients like that, though, you can in fact grandfather them.
I was about to tell you, I have one client right now who still pays level 4 pricing and will always pay level 4 pricing because I love her so much and I want to keep doing her hair. Yeah. So I just asked them to charge her level 4 pricing. Yeah. I'm not going to do that with everyone, but I know that because I told her about my promotion and she was like, I might have to find someone else. And I was like, that's not gonna happen actually, because I have to do your hair forever. So I was like, I'll grandfather you in, you know, but
Yeah.
you know, and then that's easier because then they'll still have that consistent price. Because when you continually, oh my gosh, I cannot talk, continuously like keep taking stuff off, it's not a consistent price, you know?
Well, it's not that I necessarily take things off. Again, it's like the foil frame instead of the partial. It's like
Yeah.
something
Yeah,
like,
but
it's not like
that-
me taking off a
Yeah.
service. It's me just, I mean, sometimes I
Yes,
take off a
but
service.
that client's
I
gonna
don't
get
do
a
that often.
partial, and they're gonna get charged a partial next time
Yeah.
when they don't do
Or-
the color, and then they're gonna be like, I had the same amount of color and I'm paying.
Yeah.
So-
or what happens when if they
I
end up
saved my
having
butt on
to
that way, though.
go to a different stylist who's the exact same and has to pay so much more,
Oh,
and
so-
then you know, you are horrible.
I
We're
know.
gonna have to have
No,
a full-on
it's more
intervention with
so-
her later
No,
on.
I don't do that. Like, if I end up charging it, because I'll do it, like, it's only when I know things are tough. Like, because I know, and again, I don't mean to make it sound bad. I know it's horrible, but if I'm able to give something to somebody who's having a really, really hard time,
Mhm.
That is
I
fair.
will do that always. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter what people say, because it's something that I can give.
That's different though. Like you,
I
like
know that somebody will pay me back in a way.
if I have
Yeah,
a
well,
client
that's out of
that
the kindness of your heart, not out of you
Yeah.
having like anxiety.
It's
about
not
it.
an anxiety. It's
Okay.
genuinely not an anxiety thing. Like, it's
Okay.
not that. It's not that I feel like I don't deserve that money. Sometimes with like me being faster, I will sometimes like feel that way when it comes to like a men's cut. Like, because I have this men's cut that I charge like an Ovoplex treatment, which is like $30, and I feel ridiculous paying him, like making him pay $50 for
Oh yeah, all of my men's
a
cuts are
guard
20.
3.
All of my men's cuts
Yeah.
are $25.
That I
and it does
will
not go up
charge.
from there.
Yeah, I will not charge them more than that, because I don't think, no, it takes me like half a second, and it's
Yeah.
easy money, and they don't talk to me, and it's great.
I charge 45.
There's nothing wrong with
Yeah,
that.
but you
Like,
actually
sorry.
do men's cuts.
But yeah, you do
No, I
men's
don't.
cuts.
Oh.
I don't do men's cuts.
You do. I don't know.
Jerry.
Okay, let's talk about that. Let's get off me. Why don't you do men's cuts? Jerry looked fantastic. How did you do such a smooth cut on him? It looked so. I'm genuinely like, I looked at it and I was like, wow, that's like a great cut.
Yeah?
Yeah, it really looked good.
Yeah, I don't really know.
Every
I
men's cut I've seen you do is great.
I don't know what it is. Like, I know, like, okay, so I have a select few men. Most of them are, like, friends in my life that I will do their hair. And they have told me, no one cuts it like you do. Or, I really like your haircuts. And I'm like, I hate it. Like, I feel like it looks terrible and that you're not telling me the truth.
No, it looks so good, Victoria. Like, honest to God,
I don't know.
so good every time I see it.
When I do a men's cut, I have no clue what's going on. My brain turns off and my hands just kind of, and I'm like Edward Scissorhands.
Yeah,
And then afterwards, I'm
That's a
like,
men's
that
cut.
feels okay.
that is a men's cut. If you don't like,
I don't-
zone out for like at least 5 seconds. It's
I
not a
just-
men's cut.
I think what it is afterwards, I don't feel good about it. And that's why I don't want to do it.
That makes sense. That
Yeah.
100%. But I genuinely like.
And, like,
that is
men
something you should do.
They're not like, wow, I love it. And
Yeah,
so
no man is ever gonna be like, oh
every,
my gosh,
yeah.
I love this.
So I think
Well, I mean,
I've just like convinced myself that I'm not good at it because they're not jumping up and down, and so like I never feel like I did a good job.
I've been
And I
really-
don't like
yeah,
that.
That makes sense.
I don't like that anxiety, and I don't like the way it makes me feel about myself.
That makes sense.
So that's that's why. I joke and I'm like, I don't like to talk to men. That is not true. I just don't want to explain that I don't.
That makes sense.
That's
Yeah.
my reason.
Yeah, that's mine.
Men genuinely, I'm sorry, but and maybe this is just me being weird. I don't like shampooing a man's head
I don't
and
either.
touching a man's head
Like,
and like having to make conversation with these men. Sometimes they're fine. Like I have some men clients who are great, but I have some who are just so creepy and uncomfortable that they ruin it for me. Genuinely.
See, my one men's cut. I don't know why he goes to me. I literally, we talked the entire appointment. I love him.
See,
Is
I
it
have
Bob?
some men's cuts that I love.
Oh, I love Bob too.
Oh,
No, I
okay.
love Bob too, and we talked the whole time too. No, love Bob. Sammy, I know. Sammy
love you,
watches our
Bob.
pod. I do love your dad. He's great. Sean though, he's like I don't know. I don't know why I don't do anything.
Yeah.
But every time I shampoo him, if he's watching this, I get a little uncomfy.
It's uncomfortable shampooing a man's head.
I don't even like shampooing my dad.
And
No,
I
it's
don't like-
awkward
they do the
shampooing
thing
your
where they put
guy
their hands over
friends.
their crotch.
No,
It's
okay.
like, why are you doing that?
Unless I'm
Yeah.
in love with you, I don't want to shampoo you.
Yeah, if I'm in love with you,
Then I'm like, let me give
it'd
you
be
that
like
good.
ghost movie. You know, what's the ghost with the palm tree?
I'm like, you
Like
want a
the screaming
massage?
music? Or like, oh, I got them hot towels. Sprinkling the eucalyptus everywhere.
Oh.
But yeah.
Brittany's
Yeah,
just
well, like it's
doing-
even, but it is. I can't relate to like the being in love thing, but it is awkward, like shampooing like my guy friend's hair. It's like,
Yeah.
and then sometimes I
friends?
just have to say it. I just have
Yeah.
to say it. I'm like, I never ever thought, because like all of my guy friends I've known for like my entire life, so I'm like, I never thought I would be like like washing your
Do
hair.
you ever
for
think
you.
about that when you're like
doing your
sometimes
friends
I
and
shampoo-
family?
No, just in general, when you shampoo somebody and you're like, this is really intimate.
Like it's weird sometimes.
I'm
It
wetting
is, dude.
your body. Okay,
Yeah.
let's be honest. I'm wetting your hair.
Up.
I'm shampooing it. I'm cleansing something of your body.
Massaging it.
Yeah.
I'm massaging it.
Okay.
And then we're just gonna walk away like nothing intimate just
Yeah. I just gave you a massage.
I mean, I feel like right after shampoo, $1 tip. Thank you.
Yeah.
Like intimate.
Yeah.
Buy me dinner or
Intimate.
something.
Buy me some dinner.
I don't like massaging my
Wait.
clients.
I have to tell you really quick. One time I had a client who said, "Man, I need a cigarette after that."
I would have literally taken
There's
my
no
apron
way.
off.
It was like this
There's
old lady,
no
and it
way.
was so funny.
Oh
I was
my God.
cackling. I was cackling. It was like
You
the end
got
of the
some-
night. What?
It looks like a yeast eyelash that's like attached to your eye.
Oh my gosh! I've been playing Skyrim a lot, and I have to pull a lever, and every single time I think
Pull
of
the
you,
lever cross.
and I go, pull the level crunk, and I always pull it.
Aw, cute.
And I think of you.
That's so cute.
I don't think of Yzma anymore. I think of you in your costume.
You are Yzma.
Ah, I am
Yeah.
Yzma.
Okay.
And you are a trash bag.
Oh
Okay,
my
sorry, I
God.
totally interrupted you. Go ahead.
I don't know what I was
I
gonna
don't know what you
say.
were
I'm
talking
so
about.
sorry. I hate when I do that, but I had to
Okay,
tell
I
you.
feel like we've been talking for a really long time.
Oh.
All right. Well, thank you for watching Here's the Deal podcast. We love you guys. We thank you for watching and supporting us. Follow us on TikTok and Instagram at Here's the Deal Pod, and please let us know what you want to hear from us, because we want to keep doing this and we want to keep making content that you want to listen to. So let us know, or we're just gonna have to stop doing this, and that would be really sad.
Or we just keep
We're
doing
not
it,
gonna
and
stop. We're just
only
gonna
one
talk about what
person
we
I'm
want.
trying to guilt them into telling you.
Oh, we won't do it.
Boo!
We won't do it.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Here's the deal.